Alec, man, on a Friday. It's a Friday cheers. Hanging with my man Danny Kalb there, that guy in the center with the cool shirt. It's the Blues Project, early 70s. I've shown this one before, but you know, I'm keeping her lean here with the apartment collection, so I'm digging deep for these videos, but I'm doing it. I'm doing it right here with the Blues Project, babies. Yeah, can you dig it? All right, I know I can. All right. Oh yes, look at. Back to business as usual. He was asleep last week, but today he's awake because it's sort of a nice day. You can see it all. Of course, all the leaves are finally out. Sun's sort of out. It's a little shy, but it peaks out once in a while. So today we're having actually it's close to 70. When 70 feels hot, yeah, you're desperate for summer. Yeah, it's Colton. All right, adios. All right, man, get in here. All right, high-end tripod. Shout out to my friend Trevor at Flat Round and Spun. He said this to me. I'm not doing it or using it until getting the new house in August. But it's a high-end selfie show. You put on a show with it, I guess. And Colton has to move. Jesus Christ! All right, you're shedding like a hippie. I'm gonna come after you, Colton. We're gonna get a haircut later on. Taking you to the cat barber, get you fixed up. Friday cheers to you, wherever you are. I'm right here in downtown Buffalo, I know that. I just beamed in. So yeah, what are we gonna do this week? So I do make a couple of videos. This isn't the only thing I do on the channel, but I do like this tradition of my Friday cheers. It's just become a fun hobby. Yeah, I'm just doing it. So I hope you like that video I did last Sunday. That was kind of cool. I thought it was cool anyway. And I got that VCLT from A is for Alice, B is for Bob, C is for Colton. All right. So anyway, speaking of the vinyl community and all those people, here's Fitz over here. He has an electric bar. He's over there in Victoria, BC. And, he's in the Lower Mainland. Sorry, he's in Vancouver area. What am I saying? I'm thinking of Jack at the Vinyl Martini. They're almost neighbors, right? Just across that little peninsula there, well, whatever you call that, a strait. It's a strait, not a peninsula, between Vancouver Island and the Lower Mainland. Anyway, it's not a geography class here. It's a music video or whatever you call it. And I'm talking about this guy. So he did this thing called lengthy songs that pay dividends, right? So who doesn't like to get a dividend, right? Give me the cash, or give me the musical dividend in this case, right? So it's songs that hold your attention for longer than 10 minutes. And then you're all in, right? It could seem like 2 minutes because it's a total trip. Kind of like this Blues Project thing with Danny Kalb. Rotating members in this band, formed in Greenwich Village, New York City, about 1965, 66. They did their debut as a live album, live at the Go-Go. It was called Cafe A Go-Go. And I've got pretty much all of them now. I got this at a record show in Cheektowaga. That's the only record show I've actually been to since I moved to Buffalo, at the suburb of Cheektowaga. So anyway, yeah, I got this one there. This is like this is into the 70s at this point. Photos on the back's a little more realistic. This is Bizarro World here. They're in a bathroom hanging out, and there's Danny Kalb, lead guitarist. I think he does some of the singing. The vocals were interchangeable, different members of the band. And that track we heard there was Lazarus, and that is only 9 minutes. Again, I'm working lean here, Fitz, with the apartment collection. So these aren't all going to be 10 minutes, but what the hell, right? Fitz doesn't care. He just, get on there and get on this thread. It's a cool thread. You can do it. And like he said, unfortunately for Gary over at Physical Format, I'm not going to show any jazz just because it's an easy way out, like Fitz said, because a lot of jazz songs go on for 10 minutes. And like Gary says, people listen to jazz in the background when they're doing other stuff. Maybe they're vacuuming, mowing the lawn. I think that's what Gary does. He puts jazz on in his earbuds and he mows the lawn of his estate. That's what he's doing over there. And he's coming to the party in July actually too. So if you want to meet Gary, get over here and do it. Barry Goldberg right here. Legendary organ player, keyboards, piano, whatever, anything with keys. He was all over it. And he was, of course, friends with that guy, Mike Bloomfield, So the song on here I'm talking about, it's actually longer than 10 minutes. I gotta love my woman, right? Yeah, it's Barry Goldberg and friends. The other friends on here, you got Harvey Mandel on guitar and a guy named Eddie Ho on drums. So yeah, I think I've shown this before, but I'm gonna show it again. It's got this cool label I've never seen before. Record Man. Anybody out there knows this? I assume it's an American label because Goldberg was from the States. He's from New York City. And he played with a ton of people, session guy, and did his own thing, led his own band, stuff like this he would do. But yeah, if you're into psych blues, just like that blues project that I just played at the beginning there, you dig at, look, you see those names, and if you like that opening track, like I said, you got to get on some Barry Goldberg or any Mike Bloomfield. He was in Electric Flag. That was a psych band, one of his early things he did. Did a lot of different things. Died too young, though. Speaking of dying young, yeah, we got this guy, Paul Kossoff. He didn't quite make it to the 27 club. He made it to the 26 club. And to top it off, the guy actually died in midair on a flight. He had some sort of a pulmonary episode or a blood clot. And a heavy partier, this guy. Kind of looks like a little person there, doesn't he? Anyway, I think he was taller in real life. But anyway, didn't live too long, 26. And of course, he was a good friend of Paul Rogers, Bad Company. And, they were in Free together. So Paul Kossoff, I think, was on the first 3 Free albums, and then he was dead. And then they did a 4th one, and then, of course, Paul Rogers went on, and then Bad Company, and the rest is history. Paul Rogers still kicking it, doing it, not dying in midair. So the song I'm talking about is Tuesday Morning. How about that? It's a whole side, and it's 17 minutes, 32 seconds, a whole side. That's almost like 2 10-minute songs there, Fitz. So I'm almost hitting the 20-minute mark there with Paul Kossoff. Backstreet Crawler, the name of that one. And that one was, of course, a recommendation. I got that actually as well at that Cheektowaga record show. That was a recommendation from Steve over at AS for Alice, the encyclopedic man of classic rock. And I mentioned earlier, Jack over at the Vinyl Martini. He introduced me to this guy. Well, we didn't actually meet, but introduced me to his music. It would have been cool to meet Roy and say, hey, man, yeah, keep at it, man. And there he is right down there. The guitar right there. Right, awesome, just straight up blues. Just a really great player. His output in the 70s, there's a lot of it. And I probably got about 5 or 6 Roy Buchanan albums just here in the apartment alone. And I've got 1 or 2 in storage, which is coming out of storage soon. I can't wait when I get that house. Put that room together. It's going to be one of the best videos on YouTube when I do that room tour finally and start making videos. It's the biggest man cave. Patty and I figured it out. It'll be Man Cave 6.0 because we've moved bing, cross country twice. Well, no, Boston, California, back to Boston, now Buffalo. There's a few moves for you. A couple before that. Get around just like the Beach Boys, right? Anyway, this is a live album called Livestock. Looks like it's Roy Buchanan. It's Livestock, right? It must be his place. I don't know. I think they didn't have Photoshop then, so maybe it was Roy's place. What do you know? But the song on here I'm talking about is Roy's Blues, spelled B-L-U-Z, and that's clocking in at 8:53. So just shy of the 10-minute mark. Don't disqualify it, Fitz. Polydor, great record, great live album, solid live band he always had with him. Yeah, Roy Buchanan, check it out. If you like straight up blues, guitar, do it. Roy Buchanan. So Brian, I usually mention Embryonic at least once in my videos. He's great, fun guy, comic relief. I'm looking forward to seeing Brian in person. He's got a real dry sense of humor. It's cool. You know what? You watch his videos, right? So anyway, I was texting with him, and I mentioned something about Julio Iglesias, and he goes, people don't really give him any love in the vinyl community. I said, you're right, Brian. He said, Mike, why don't you show some? And I said, all right, Brian. So this is for Brian. This is a Julio Iglesias album from 1983. And yeah, nice song on here. It's Nostalgie, right, for us. Nostalgic, right? In Portuguese or Spanish, whatever. It's Julio, and there he is, right? Looks like he's going to the beach to meet some women. He's wearing his white outfit. It's kind of Miami Vice if he had a little blazer action going on. So there you go, Brian. There's 2 from Julio. Libra, right? If you're into all the astrology, right? Maybe he's a Libra. I don't know. I never met Julio in person. Yeah, cool guy, right? So anyway, what else we got going on here? Yeah, so I showed some stuff in that Sunday video. that I bought recently. So I was cheating on my record store. I was cheating on Revolver, and I was over here at this place. This is added to the itinerary. If you're coming to the party, it's Black Dots. They're, of course, here in Buffalo. So yeah, did my Virgin trip over there a week ago today. I was off last Friday for the long weekend. It was great, and I got some stuff, including this Dave Mason album. So I've seen this before, and I've streamed it. I really quite like it. It's with Mama Cass on here, of course, from the Mamas and the Papas, Cass Elliot, her full name. And they did this album together. And he did his first solo album because he'd been in Traffic. He did his first solo album. I think it's called Alone Together. I think that's the name of it. I have that. It's in storage, of course, with my other Dave Mason stuff. But this is kind of his second album, and he brought her along. She only really sings lead vocals on one song on here. And Here We Go Again. That might be it on here. Here's the track listing, and there's Cass Elliot on the back. And there's Diamond. Well, it's not Diamond Dave. That's David Lee Roth. This is just Dave, right? So anyway, there's the two of them right there. And she mostly sings harmony kind of backup. And of course, as you know, if you know the Mamas and the Papas, she's got a really beautiful voice. Put these two things together here, and it's a winner. So it's Mama Cass and Dave Mason, right? Fill in the blank for me. Anyway, so there's one $3 record, man, solid. Here's another one, Jack at the Vinyl Martini. He'll be going nuts because they got a vintage country section that's comparable to Revolver, but not quite. But it's still pretty good. A lot of $3 and $4 records in really excellent shape. This is a Buck Owens song. At first I thought it was a live album because I thought it was like live in New York City, but it's no, I wouldn't live in New York City. So these are basically all songs about different cities. So down in New Orleans, the wind blows every day in Chicago. It's a long way to London town, Houston town, Santo Domingo, big in Vegas. You get the idea. And of course, yeah, I wouldn't live in New York City if they gave me the whole dang town. He just doesn't like the big city. No, he's from Bakersfield, California. That's good enough for Buck, friend of Dwight Yoakam. And yeah, that's Buck right here. And he wouldn't live in New York City. I wouldn't either. Ran the New York City Marathon, and I couldn't wait to get out of there. Too big, too many people. When I crossed the finish line, I was started to run actually toward the Massachusetts Turnpike. I wanted to get out of there, so I just kept running. Golden Palominos. This was like a weird project with people coming and going. This is a 12-inch single. Founded around this drummer, this guy Anton Fier, spelled it F-I-E-R. Don't know much about him. I know he's an American guy. I think he's from Cleveland, Ohio. These recordings were all done in New York City. They did 3 or 4, and there's different people who were coming and going, like Sid Straw, the female lead vocalist. She was a backup singer for Pat Benatar, but she could hold her own. She was on the album that this was from, and I'm trying to think of the name of it. Shit. I have the first 2 Golden Palominos, and the second one, Visions of Excess, it's called. And this song, Omaha, is on there, as well as that Sid Straw song. I can't think of the name of that. It's a cover of a Lowell George song from Little Feat. Anyway, this is Omaha, the 12-inch single. Omaha was on that album I mentioned, of course, on this celluloid label. And then there's a B-side here. Do a cover of the Ennio Morricone film classic, of course, from the Clint Eastwood film for a few dollars more. What the hell, right? So yeah, bass player Bill Laswell on this one. Of course, who else was in this band? John Lydon played on a couple of songs. Who else? Of course, Michael Stipe from REM. He's on a couple. Like I said, Sid Straw. And yeah, really, really excellent. If you see the Golden Palominos, check it out. I think you dig it. Cool map right here of Nebraska. Yeah, so anyway, there's the celluloid label. Only band I've ever seen on that label. So I saw this 12-inch single for $2, grabbed it. What the hell? And lastly, we got the second album and the biggest one from the Georgia Satellites. From somewhere in the southern U.S. It could be Georgia. I don't remember. I had this one in high school. I'd recorded it on cassette. Never had a copy of my own because I think I got so sick of the lead-off track, Keep Your Hands to Yourself. It used to be a thing every time you go the 80s in a strip joint. You'd always hear that song. Anyway, not that I'd ever go to those places. I don't know, maybe I did. Yeah, and then there's Railroad Steel, Battleship Chains, Red Light. It's really solid, straight up, like Chuck Berry would like this. It's just straight up rock and roll, but it's not rockabilly. I say Chuck Berry would like it because it's straight up rock and roll, really good. It's not heavy metal, it's not new wave. It's just really good barroom rock and roll. and it's the Georgia Satellites. They did a couple more, and I think they split by the end of the 80s, and that was it for these guys. 3 or 4 records, and of course this was the big one. This one coming out in 1986, so yeah, I was coming up a senior in high school, and this, you'd always hear this at parties. But yeah, like, oh yeah, the inside. So this still had, it's funny, I got this at Black Dots. It still had half the shrink on it. The record's in really great shape. It's $3. So I ripped off, and still there was the hype sticker. So I just put a new inner sleeve. Of course, they're on the Electra label right there. Friends of Ray Manzarek. That's the Electra label I'm talking about. They're all friends. The Doors. Yeah, and the Georgia Satellites. Rock out with that one. That's a really good one. And, you know, you rarely see one in good shape. This was $3. I looked at it, and it looked good. And I got home. A couple of pops on that first track because it probably got played to death. Whoever owned this probably only played the one song because the opener is it's a little sketchy, but there's no skips. Then the rest of the record smooths out. And I thought, hey, for $3, I'll keep it. It's good. It's fun. I've listened to this twice through already. Surprisingly, I'm not hating Keep Your Hands to Yourself because I rarely listen to commercial classic rock radio, so I'm just not hearing it anymore. So anyway, there you go. That's a Friday. Oh, we're not done yet. I had something else here. Yeah, so it's summer, I was saying, right? So here at the end here, I thought, what the hell? Yeah, my family, we like to take a lot of cruises. Not this year, and last year we were moving. So we haven't done a cruise now. It'll be 3 summers this year. This was drove up to, or down to New Jersey. We went Bayonne, New Jersey, down to Bermuda. And then we did that cruise on a different cruise line. That was Celebrity. That was high end. Really high end, Anthony. You know what I'm talking about. Gambler 812. He likes it high. He likes everything high end, and I am too, except for this beer. This is low end. And there, the girls were playing bingo. Caroline was just little. She was probably 9 or 10 at the time we took that cruise. And this was a cool beach. It was called Sea Glass Beach. It was just all this sea glass, they call it, because all these boats, luxury yachts and stuff would anchor there in the 70s and 80s, and then it got declared a historical site after. So they would throw the bottles in the ocean, and then they would smash on the shore, and it would, but the glass eventually from the seawater would get all smooth, and people made these sculptures and put the glass in it with pieces of glass. It's pretty cool. And yeah, that's Sea Glass Beach in Bermuda. And this is our old cat. Shout out to the late great Mr. Sponge. There he is in his psychedelic bedroom. Caroline had this American Girl thing, and it was just for the cat, and he'd just hang out there. He lived to a ripe old age of, he was almost 18, man. Got him in California, and he passed away in Massachusetts. And we got old Colton up there. Oh yeah, he's calming down now. He's up on Neighborhood Watch. Yeah, so anyway, we're cruising into the weekend. No cruise this year. We're going to cruise into our new house. Colton, he's taking a break from Neighborhood Watch. And yeah, so that's just a Friday cheers. Whatever you're doing, hope it's fun. That's what weekends are supposed to be. And I guess we'll just see you in the next video. Peace out.